Hello, my name is Maurice Benard, and this is State of Mind. Um, I'm with somebody today who has a incredible story, beautiful story. The cool part is she's been recurring on the hit show General Hospital as Nurse Chanel since 2015. Is
Has it
that
been 7 years?
2015?
Oh, yeah.
She's great. She's done movies, all kinds of stuff. Séance, where she got an award for supporting actress. And she did a campaign for Nike. They handpicked her. So her name is Chauntal Lewis. How are you?
Hi. I'm great.
Wow.
So happy to be here.
Oh, I'm happy you're here.
Really cool.
Um, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Oxnard, California.
From
Yes,
Oxnard.
from Oxnard. I grew up like on the beachside area, little beach baby, born and raised.
Really?
Yeah,
You are a beach baby.
I'm a beach baby. And
One sister.
one sister, a half brother. My parents remarried, and he's much younger. He's like 23 right now, and he's a little race car driver. My sister's a very successful hairstylist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Like, what is, I
she
like that.
owns a salon out here. Actually, I think a few of um,
Oh,
our
really?
friends, yeah, go to the salon here in West Hollywood. Um, and yeah, we moved out of Oxnard, Ventura. I was 18. Like, I'm gonna be an actress. All I've ever done is,
So you were a dancer, a
dance,
singer,
hmm
you did theater.
all the things, but didn't grow up necessarily with, the means to necessarily go to like London and study or
Oh, you're right,
Juilliard and all
right.
the things. So I did community theater, my dance classes, cheerleading and dance in like high school, and then at 18, I was like, I'm coming out here. And I had an agent when I was like
At
7 years old.
18, you came out here
18 years old. And
by yourself?
with sister. So
Oh, with your
sister,
sister?
it's like, I'm gonna be this hairstylist for the stars. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be this actress. So I come out, we find a little spot in Santa Monica, and yeah, and we just went on our journey, and she's doing her thing, and I'm
Now,
doing.
weren't you scared or nervous, or the ambition made you say, I don't care if I'm scared. I don't care. I'm going. I'm doing this.
Interesting. Yeah, because I did a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
I had,
But
like
being on your own, see, for me
being on my own, right?
is I went from one mother to another mother I've never been on my own. I don't know how to wash dishes.
Oh,
I mean, I can wash dishes maybe, but I don't know how to wash clothes. I've never been on my own, but you had no problem in that area.
for I had sisters, so I think that was
Okay.
a really
Yeah.
good, like, support system. But no, I was a mess. What are you talking about? 18 years old. I'm out here. I'm gonna be an actress, and I'm over here like I was working like promo job here, working at Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it was like my first job, like
Really?
little things. But I would get so yeah. I went back to my first agent, which was Abrams at the time, and
Abrams.
yeah, and then I feel like it was like this little fish in a big, whatever
Yeah.
this thing is. And then I got into an amazing, amazing acting studio with my coach, who is now past Joe Police at the Actor Space. He was incredible. I was with him for like 9 years, but that was, I think, shifted and changed I feel like that was my university because I did my 2 years
I
at
get it. Yeah.
Santa Monica Community
Yeah.
College, and then I was like, I want to act. I want to act. I have to do this thing, and yeah, and I had some really, really, really good momentum going, early 20s now, and just booked this like HBO like pilot. It was
You
so
did?
awesome. It was so awesome. And then I could cut to the part that changed my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay.
What
Uh,
change? What the part that? Let's talk about the part that changed your life because I think it makes me emotional even talking about it. But I don't want to get too emotional. We're both going to be crying like
I
babies.
know.
All right, because I'm a crybaby anyway. Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh,
what happened with the accident and the whole thing?
So, yeah, like I
Take me the
said,
day. The day.
the day of,
Yeah,
it
and then
was
take me
wild.
up.
It's wild. I was just on that hike today. I went on a hike this day like any other day. And I remember getting up to the top of this rock, Temescal Canyon. Have you ever been up in Santa Monica
Mm-mm.
or Palisades maybe? And I just remember like I grew up Christian, Presbyterian church, all the things. I really didn't talk to God in a while. It was so like, I'm this actress. If I don't book this role, I suck at life. And, all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not good enough, pretty enough, skinny enough, smart
Right.
enough, all the things that as a young, it's brutal,
Brutal.
Um, wasn't booking, and then I,
But you are pretty, and you're everything. You're all of that. Go ahead.
but it's wild.
Yeah, I know.
I already battled with certain things like body dysmorphia or just like, just
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
shit that you're like, is a story that I've made up in my head and doesn't exist. Anyway, I go up to this rock and I prayed. I talked to God. I really did. I was like, I need something to shift because this isn't who I am. I don't feel alive. I'm not that excited girl to like opening night of on stage. I'm like, okay, cool. If I, whatever, like and I ran down just like something's got to shift, and I need to either make a serious. I mean, I know this sounds wild, but cut to 5 hours later, I'm with my girlfriend. We're watching Across the Universe, which is still,
Whoa.
I love that movie, and we're singing and dancing like little
The
girls.
Beatles, right?
The Beatles
Yeah.
movie, yeah, that musical
Yeah, yeah,
that
it was
they
great.
made, yeah.
My daughter loves it.
Oh, I love that movie, and it haunted me after a while, but I've revisited it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was the last thing we were watching, and I remember we were laying there, and I was like, I have to go. I have to go. And she's like, Are you sure you don't? I was like, No, no. I worked at a small little like hair salon at the time, like front desk. It's like I have work in the morning, and I just got up and um on Wilshire here in LA.
You got in your car.
Got in my car, just me.
You're just driving by yourself.
Just driving, going down Wilshire, and it's kind of a bit of a descent, and there's a huge semi truck, and well, I might get emotional.
It's okay.
I haven't told this in a really long time. It was just parked in the middle of the road, with the light was green, when they're like delivering food.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, this truck isn't moving, and I go to get in the right lane, and there's a taxi cab that kind of just like shifted in front of me and threw me into the back of this semi truck. And yeah, I lost my left hand on impact.
So, what do you remember from the impact? Nothing? Or
Wild. This is why it's such a bizarre, like, this is a total out of body experience. 1000%.
wow.
Near death experience, whatever. Indeed,
I saw your car, and it was
oh, you
just
saw that?
a picture of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
It literally cut off the left side of my driver's seat. Like, had I not been
Wow.
close, like, I would not exist or have this conversation. So for me, yeah, on impact, I was up here, like, oh, this.
Oh, you were what? Yes.
I'm like, I lost my hand. I lost my hand. I lost my hand. And I just kept saying, like, I want my mommy. I want my mommy.
Oh.
That's all I kept saying. Really wild. I don't think about this too much because I'm like, oh, this is who I am. This is like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then some witness came and he kind of wrapped my hand up, and we were right next to UCLA Hospital. They put me in, in the ambulance, and I went. They didn't know that my hand. They actually found in my back seat. Woo.
And what they can't put it together. They can't put.
So they found it, and once I was in the hospital, they said they rushed it over. We found her hand. Let's try to put it on. So I'm in ER. My sister, she reminds me that I even said this because I'm like, who is this person? Because I'm like, if I can go back to even that person after everything, I mean, this is almost 12 years and the roller coaster of all the things. I was like, I lost my hand. But they said, we're going to try and put it on, but it's not guaranteed. I said, that doesn't matter. Just make sure that I wake up because I'm not done here. Like I
Wow.
I'm not done
That's
here.
beautiful.
I don't know who that person. Well, I
Yeah,
get it, but I
yeah.
was like, what the? What am I? I mean, maybe it was the morphine. I don't know, but I'm like, I'm not done. I gotta wake up. I gotta wake up. And so they did it, and I remember clearly the doctor looking in my eyes and saying, with tears in her eyes, saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but you know, yeah, for the rest of your life, you're gonna have one hand." And I, I kind of remember just being like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, this is real conversation. I'm not gonna be suffering from some
Right,
pain,
right.
you know. Uh,
Nothing else
Nothing. Not even a
just your hand.
scratch. Just the hand on impact, just doop,
Wow.
gone in an instant. Like any other day, I.
Was it a lot of pain?
That's the thing. Like on the impact, I was out here, and that's so beautiful about the human, like, out survival. Like I remember it burning, and I remember it. I've done a lot of horror films.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember it like literally ligaments and squirting like a, like,
Whoa.
holy, yeah. But no, I don't remember, like, yeah, I don't remember it. Like, it's just, my body just like took over.
Yeah.
And
So so then they just do what they got to do, and then you have to mentally accept that's what it is.
right.
And you seem to have a good attitude, right? You were
At that
how
time,
the hell do you have
I don't that's why if we get into when I said nothing's going to, like, I'm not mentally, like, my brain's okay, I can still see, act, dance, sing, well, all the things, but shit, they don't prepare you for, all
No, I
the other
mean,
stuff that kind of, it's PTSD straight
yes.
up.
But how is it after that? How is it I'm fascinated right now. A girl like you, pretty, the whole thing. Does it affect your life as far as dating and all that? Or it wouldn't. I'm going to totally be honest with you. It wouldn't matter to me at all because I know when you go through something,
Mm-hmm.
I want you. I don't want the person over there who's had money and has everything. I want somebody who's mentally ill, who's gone through stuff.
Woo! Okay. Let's dive into that.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my first initial is like, I remember looking down. I'm like, shit, it's my left hand. Never gonna have a ring on my left finger.
Oh, that's the best.
That sucks. And it's really sweet. Like my mom, my sister, they all wear their jewelry on their right hand. They're like, you gotta
Oh,
change that. I'm like,
that's
oh, come on.
amazing.
Um,
I never thought of that,
I
man.
that was like the first thing I said to my hospital, because I mean, I love love. I like, I want, that's, yeah,
Yeah,
marriage and children,
that
but is
is a
anyone gonna love me like this?
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
How does that?
getting back to your question,
Yeah.
well, wildly enough, I meet someone 3 4 months after my accident,
Okay.
and we fall head over heels. I mean,
Okay.
we're, you know, what, 25 at this time? Yeah, young, and it was wild because I'm like, I'm experiencing this like euphoria of like, oh my god, I've never fallen in love like this. Yeah, I'm going through the most traumatic thing in my own entire life. It was so
Yeah.
conflicting, but I feel like he was an angel at that time. Cut to, yeah, it lasted almost 10 years,
Really?
and that's, I feel like, something, I feel like now, like that time. So after the accident, I meet him. I'm in love. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. He's supportive. He's all the things. He supports me as an actress. Like, I was like, I'm never gonna. And he saw me, and he always said, like, I was like, this doesn't bother you, or like, it's weird. Like, he's like, no, I think it's unique.
Yes.
And since, like, I realized that I don't. That's not like a huge insecurity, but I understand as a woman to feel whole and beautiful and
Yes. Yes.
complete. It's definitely, maybe even if it subconsciously affected me, of just like, I'm like, I deformed looking, maybe, or
Right,
maybe they
right.
weren't.
Yeah,
And maybe it has affected me more so than I like accepted or faced,
yeah.
because then again, acting. So I'm in a theater company. Actually, Ronnie Marmo's theater company 68.
Oh,
And
really,
yeah,
Ronnie?
I was in that theater company during my accident. I was
Wow.
in this Shanley Festival, this play. I get back on stage 3 weeks later, like a crazy person. I'm just
After
like,
the
after the accident, with one hand all wrapped up.
wow.
And I finish out the show. And then that's when I meet the guy and all the things. And yeah, I think at that time I just kind of just kept going. And then everyone's like, oh my God, you're such an inspiration. You're this. I
Yeah,
did a
yeah.
couple speaking. And then I was like, but I'm not. I'm just surviving. And people wanted me to tell my stories. Like, I don't know what my story is yet. They're like, I'm like, how am I an inspiration? I just lost my hand, but they're like, but you're still on stage and you did this.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
became a crazy runner.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, with the Nike like campaign.
Oh, that's
And
right.
yeah,
How'd that come about?
I didn't drive for a little bit naturally, and I just started walking the streets. And I started like, well, this takes too long, so I started running the streets, and then I just literally became. I did my first marathon. Nike took notice. Was like, oh, that's a really good time, and then
What's the time on your marathon?
think it was like a 7. Wait, oh, my
Like,
my minute was like 6:20 or something. Yeah, it was like ridiculous.
wow.
But they're like, "Do you train?" I was like, "No, I think in my head at that time, I stopped all the medication that they were giving me because it was a lot, and I
Yeah.
remember feeling numb and not
Mhm.
myself. And I said, "No, I don't want to." So I started running for my anxiety or for the pain. I was like, well, what could hurt possibly more than that? So I just like my leg. I was like, and I still have my legs, so I'm just I just
There you
started
go. Yeah.
going, and I really spent a chunk of that of my time doing that. And
And then Nike.
and then Nike kind of took notice and like kind of I did this really cool project called the Speed Project, um, where we ran from Santa Monica to Vegas, and now it's like this like international. Have you heard of that?
Wait a minute. You ran from what?
From Santa Monica to Vegas. We were like the first like experimental thing. Those were the 5 people. It was like a relay, but still, it was like a 3 day. It took us
Oh
41
my
hours.
goodness gracious.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like, you got to be going through something if you're going to do something a little crazy like
Right.
that. Yeah, so a lot of it was just like, what else can I do to kind of distract and not actually face the fact that I have this one hand thing? And I don't think I did until
How long did it take you from the accident? And how long did it take from the accident to finally accept or not have any thought about it?
now. Just
No.
no, like well, cut to 2 years ago. I crashed bad. Like I hit rock bottom.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, just before the pandemic. Yeah. The 10-year relationship, he just left unexpectedly.
Right.
And I think that was when I first understood, one, I'm just not good with loss.
Mm,
Something that once was and no longer exists.
yes.
My hand, or perhaps my parents divorced when I was
Yes.
younger, to this man that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And then I left Santa Monica after 15 years, moved with my sister in Studio City, which I just picked up literally with 3 suitcases, 2 boxes, and like my couch and my TV, and just started over. So I was really like just shifting just to heal. But that, I don't know what that did to me, but I went into a huge, huge depression. And I think
When you say depression, what does that look like to you? Like heavy, not get out of bed, nothing feels good. That's my depression.
yeah, I never experienced people were like, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I have anxiety. Because
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say that, oh, maybe
Yeah,
sometimes I
people,
feel
yeah.
anxious.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what that it's a real
Oh
freaking
yeah.
thing until Yeah, 2 years ago. And then the world shuts down a week
And
later.
that made it worse for you.
Holy shit. I'm sitting in my sister's back house. I'm living in her guest house because one day I was driving. She's like, Chauntal, just get out of Santa Monica. All the triggers of him. He has this new girl. And it's all over Instagram. And I had to, like, I couldn't stop myself. I was just like, torturing. I'm like, maybe if I see them just like getting married and having a baby, maybe my heart will just stop. And that's when I was like, oh, these are very dark, dark, dark thoughts.
Ooh.
Like dark. But I'm like, this is so much bigger than this man leaving me.
Yeah.
This is, I met him 3 months after my accident. Like I said, I don't think I ever dealt with that. And that's where it was like, I need to work on that. And it was hard.
And those thoughts cultivate the depression and the anxiety.
The depression, I couldn't see the light.
Yeah.
I'm a super yogi. I've now transferred the running's not really sustainable. I'm like, I'm gonna have bad hips by the age of 40. Like I'm gonna,
right.
But I'm super yogi, meditation, all the things.
Is that before the depression or after?
I've always been that way, but I was doing everything, anything, Lord God, something. I couldn't wake up. Like I just felt sick all the time. My heart's pounding, and nights I'd wake up and then it's COVID. I was like, I got the COVID. Maybe now I have the COVID. Now I'm just gonna die. Like I went into a spiral.
But Chauntal, the beauty of what you're saying, and it's what I've been talking about, is that the pandemic has really helped mental illness. It really has, because now we're talking about it, you see it in commercials and whatnot. But a lot of people, I just had this conversation yesterday. A lot of people experience anxiety, depression, manic episodes for the first time during the pandemic, because you can't run, you can't hide. And then you're like, can you, maybe that's how you felt. I don't know. So you didn't experience depression or anxiety before that crash like you did.
Not like, this is different.
Because what you experienced, I could just feel it, is exactly what I've experienced many times, but what most people don't know what it is.
And when you talk about it, and unfortunately, mom of course, everyone's just worried about you because like, okay, and I'm like, when finally I was in my sister's back house and I said, sister, like, I'm not okay. Like I said, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's obviously sounds like I would never hurt myself.
No, I know.
But I meant I don't want to be here.
Yes.
Anymore. I can't shake. It's called self-love. It's like, okay, he's gone. Move on. I mean, it is. I now see why that wasn't my person, and that's okay. But at that time, I was so trapped. And I couldn't escape. And unfortunately, I mean, honestly, fortunately, I didn't understand at the time. She's such a problem fixer, and I'm very like more black. Okay, let's fix the situation. Calls the first thing that she Googles, and I have people at my door asking me, thinking it's a therapy session. I said, well, clearly I don't want to take my life. I'm like, look at my place. I have my yoga mat, I have my crystals, I have Gaia like in the back.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing all the things, the books, anything I can't shake this. But I said, and I mentioned, like, I don't. And they took me away on 5150.
No.
Scariest thing I've ever experienced.
I mean, I've been there, but for how long?
72 hours.
70.
I want to write a movie called 72 Hours. Experience in there.
Oh, I know. That's crazy, right? Did they tie you down?
Then they didn't. Couldn't tie that man down. I was like, God, but that already gives me anxiety. Don't strap me down. And then he was like, well, I can't really. I was like,
that's
freedom. Give me any sort of freedom. Oh, it was the scariest. And I was really going through episodes of anxiety where okay, my heart's gonna pop out, and that's like, this is the end. This is absolutely the end. But I will say, because it was COVID, they had to put me on a level with schizo to homeless to
that's a tough
co-ed to, I didn't know if I was gonna get raped, killed
in the
middle of the night with these young kids I'm like, this is inhumane. It was bad.
Yes, it's bad in there.
It was bad. And then I was like, whoa, whoa, okay, Chauntal. Ex-boyfriend who? Like, let's some come on.
Yeah.
I wanted to live more than anything in that
Yes.
it was these people were so
Oh
sad.
yeah. Yeah.
It was bad.
And it's been going on. I was in a mental institution at 22. I'm almost 60.
Whoa.
So
For how long?
2.5 weeks. So this has been going on for,
Yeah.
and it's
And
still,
no one talks about it.
no, and it's still going on. And there's a lot that needs to be fixed. There's a lot, and I was supposed to speak in front of Congress, and I had anxiety. I couldn't get on the plane, but I will speak in front of Congress eventually and try to, it's scary in those places. And I'm not sure really how much they help.
I don't think they do. If anything, it's
It
like
makes it,
that girl interrupted, like, which I've done.
yeah,
You
right.
know, and they try to give you the pills and you try to like hide it. And that's the thing. They put me on some medication and I don't think I'm clinically a depressed person. I
Right.
think I was circumstantially depressed at the time.
Yeah.
And I think the PTSD, the triggers, which I'm now finding the tools to navigate
Yes.
and figure out, okay, how do we never go back there?
Yeah.
I still battle with it
Yeah.
constantly.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there, like that
Oh,
place,
that, yeah.
holy, I almost lost my life.
Yeah.
But seeing these people, and yeah, and
I was strapped down in a room with four walls, my waist,
I
my ankles,
know, getting anxiety thinking about this. Oh, it's like my
and
worst nightmare.
and it was like, what the hell is happening right now?
Whoa.
But let me tell you something. That's why we're getting along so well. Because the beauty of what you've gone through, what I've gone through, is that I'm for anybody who's out there who's depressed or has anxiety or bipolar, who lost a hand or legs or anything. It's the movie in your head that's going to get you through it. And there's two roads, because you could have a scary movie and you go down the wrong road. But luckily for her and luckily for me, that's why we're here talking. We've taken the right road. Oh man, I'm gonna get fucking emotional. Oh fuck. And when you take the right road, you become a better person. You become stronger, because you have to look back and go, I got through that. Yeah. I mean, so here we are. And so you always have to, it's like I said to my wife, the glass half full, the glass half empty. You got to take the glass half full, man, because it's going to, there's light at the end of the tunnel, is what I'm freaking trying to say.
My question for you, it's exactly how I said this right after my accident, because I was, again,
Yes.
stage 3 weeks later. I'm running marathons. I'm doing this.
Yes.
And I'm speaking, and then finally I shut down. Everyone expected me to be just this light. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what if I'm having a really freaking bad day? I can't do this anymore. And I remember making a choice then, but it's a constant choice of like, life can either suck or it could be really freaking awesome.
That's right.
What you just said.
That's right.
And I chose that, but then cut to, like these last couple years of like, remember that girl, Chauntal? Remember that girl who chose it to be really good? But I'm like, all these things keep freaking happening. Yeah. It's just,
you know why?
Brutal.
Because that's life.
Yeah.
And life is a bitch. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's a bitch because good things happen and then bad things happen. And I keep saying to myself, why can't it just be good, 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 good?
Yeah.
Why do I have to have the bad, bad, bad? But that's just life, and we have to accept that roller coaster.
And without the sour, we don't get the sweet.
Right.
And I understand all of that, but then that's also where I have to constantly work on this. And like through my yoga practice, I did a 3 hour
Yoga is
hour
supposedly
chakra.
incredible.
It's just, it's like more energy healing and just
Wow.
all this stuff, like peeling back the layers, being like, okay, what is that? Like, again, that depression, that 5150, that
Yeah.
thing was not about some man leaving. It was like, Chauntal, we need to really like
Yeah.
work on past trauma. And um recently, so I think it's 8 months now, but I lost my father.
Oh, me too.
Really?
7 months, about 7 months ago.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
in September.
Yeah.
And it freaked me. It's the worst feeling on the planet. Suddenly, it's wonderful. I love my daddy so much. Um, but it scared me because I was like, oh no, this is the kind of thing that's gonna get me trap me back into that.
Yes.
But because I feel like nope, I gotta go here. And for my dad, if anything, I'm like, no, I want to make him so freaking proud.
There you go. Now, no, you can swear on YouTube.
I want to make him so proud, and I didn't like want to crawl in a hole. I mean, I did for
Yeah.
a few weeks, and it's still painful, and I still mourn him. But I feel him, and I'm just like, no, because he doesn't want to see me like that. I don't want to see me like that.
I've had so many people die, I can't even tell you. And I've never said bye to any of them. Yeah, I haven't. I think with death, the way I see it is, what do you think they would want? And then just do that.
Yeah. It's a wild experience.
Right? I mean, my dad, when he died,
Is that dad?
yeah, that's my dad right
My
there.
dad.
And
That's my dad right here.
that's cool. Is a hawk?
It's a hawk.
You know something?
That's his animal.
That's amazing because I'm gonna tell you a little story. My friend Manny, best friend ever, when I was in that mental institution, he helped me a lot. He got murdered. Okay, he was stabbed like 18 times. And I always say when somebody dies, there's a gift that they give you a signal. I went out, cried out in my backyard, and I was on a chair by myself. Beautiful scenery, and there's a hawk, and then there's two hawks, and then and then there's three hawks. I've never seen three hawks, and I'm like, how you? I said, Manny, amazing man. So
No, I'm sorry. That's wild. When I was staying at Dad's house, and after he lives in Camarillo, my family, and same. Everyone mourns differently. My sister likes a lot of
yeah,
people around. I'm like, I'm gonna walk to the park. I'm gonna do my yoga, and I'm gonna talk to Dad. And one day I just couldn't keep it together, and I'm shaking, like walking to this park and saying, no joke,
no,
one hawk, two,
no.
three. Then I was just hover, and I fell to my knees, and I was like, Dad,
See,
so you're gonna be with me for.
I got chills, man.
That's so cool.
Whoa, I've never heard anybody tell me that.
No, that's a true story. I told my family, I was like, they're like, oh, cool. I was like, no, you don't understand. There was like 5 of them up there, and I was like, and I.
Let me tell you something. I tell some people, and I'm feeling it right now. In this room, that's why I get emotional. Fuck. There's like a fucking energy in here, like a
Yeah, I feel it.
right. There's a
It's
real
really cool.
spiritual thing,
Really cool. I feel my dad, and my dad will be so proud right now.
right?
Aw.
I said it to somebody else. I'm like, did you feel that spiritual energy in here? She goes, oh, there, because she's like she does spiritual stuff. So she goes, oh, there's definitely an energy in this little area here. All right, listen. One more thing I want to talk about, and then I just want to ask you how you got the job because I know how you got the job on General Hospital. And how was it? Tell me how you got it.
Okay, it's I swear. I mean, talk about alignment and all that. My mom is the biggest fan. I mean, when I say the biggest,
Right.
she has not missed one of the fan yearly,
Yeah.
all the things.
Yeah.
Once every audit, she has a book of every autograph she's ever
Wow.
collected. I don't think she's missed an episode in like probably 25, 30 years.
Amazing.
So I grew up it was it. That's what was on after school or high school, and I always knew about everybody. And
Wow.
so I feel like she probably manifested it more so than me, but she goes to this event and oh, by the way, it's the twins. So anyone that I'm sure everyone knows about the twins.
Twins, right?
The twins, and they're so sweet and they're just so excited. I mean, it's great. I love it. But so she has this conversation with Frank.
Frank Valentini,
Frank
the
Valentini.
just recently winner again for best show. Emmy. He
Woo!
won last night.
Last night.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they talked.
They talked, chatted, and she mentions and she throws it out there like, it is hard as an actress like right now. Like,
Right.
well, do I wear the prosthetic? Do I preface it before
Right.
I don't have a hand? Should I not? Or just wear it and then once I book the job, be like, oh, by the way, it's fake.
Right, right.
I don't. But she mentions like I think it'd be really cool to, incorporate that. And a lot of, everyone's doing diversity or
Right.
inclusion and the whole thing, especially now, and have a conversation. And then I get a call from Mark Teschner to come audition. And I did years ago. I'm like 18 years old and I was like, oh, cool, General Hospital. But of course, didn't. And I did it. And then he sends me, he's like, it's actually really good. Like, he didn't know if it was like, just like,
They didn't know.
fangirl.
Yeah, because then somebody comes in and like,
Totally. And he's like, let's have you do this. And he's like, that's actually really, really good. And then I booked my first like under 5.
Frank loves you.
Does he? I love him.
I just talked to him. He was like, "Oh, you better mention that how she got the job."
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm so grateful to be there. It feels like everyone's just wonderful, and hopefully I stay.
Oh, you've been there since what did I tell? What did I say? 2015.
Yeah.
That's what it said on my little card.
Yep. Totally.
All right, listen. I want to conclude this by saying it's been like an incredible energy in here that I got to be honest. I haven't felt this energy ever in this room where it was like she said, like, our dads are here.
Yeah.
Like yours is sitting over there and mine's right there. And it's like, it was just that kind of interesting kind of conversation with spirituality and
That's really cool. Thank you.
so I appreciate it and thank you. And that's
Thank
all
you
I
so
can
much.
say.